It is almost time. What's up, everyone? Happy Sunday. All right, let's get started. What's up, everyone? Green screen is still funky. Mess with it a tiny bit. But I'm going to deal with that later. Actually, going to look at getting a new green screen for back there. Didn't do much today. Went to church, took care of the kids, checked on family. About it. This problem of the host table has been bugging me. So I'm interested to dig into it. So, quick refresher for last night. When we left off, everything was going good except the host table in the state table. So the list of hosts was getting corrupted somewhere and getting wiped out. So we're going to run through the trace and see if we can figure out where that was happening. The first thing let's do is let's start with recon handoff. And let's see how this looked. Which it looks like this was fine because we had our CPE data, which was one of the big reasons why we changed up the XML parser for Nmap. Everything looks good in here. If we just come down here, we start looking at what's up with the host table. We just kind of iterate through this. So host looks good. Actually, I think it's these steps we want here. I just realized something. I don't know if this would be super helpful or not. I want to look at something. Create hash. I'm curious about something. God, that is so loud. I've got to fix that somewhere. Since I switched from the over-the-ear cans to the in-ear monitors, that dial-up is so loud in my ears. I've got to fix it somehow. I had an idea here. I was just wondering, for future events like this, I wonder if storing a hash for each of these hosts. So, like, say we had an IP address host name and then a hash value for the object. I'm trying to say that would be worth it. I don't know. It would be a quick way to identify if a host entry changes. But yeah, there's ways you could do it. You could basically say JSON dumps and then just return a hash of it. But I don't think we're going to need that. I was just thinking that might be an interesting way to come through and quickly assess if that changed. Let's go to the enum agent. So enum agent still looks good. The validator still looks good. We go back to the agent. Still looks good. Validator still look good. I think I can see where this problem is happening. Because see here, so we only have the one host, right? So this one host is still looking fine. But then we come through and we run GoBuster, right? And going into the tool node, it looks good. Go to output formatter here. All of that looks fine. Looks like it does a good job changing the output, but then we come over to host update. So our hosts look... Okay, so right here, so from output formatter to host update. So output formatter, I believe, has the bug in it. You see that? So output formatter, we're doing good, right? We come through, everything looks good. We have our port 22 and 80 scan data. All that is copacetic. But then we come over to host update. I'm guessing it's the output formatter that's actually messing it up, because now look at the host. We've lost all the port data. So something in the output formatter here. Actually, one way that we can actually come look at this, we can, instead of looking at just the input, we can go down. We can check the output. So the output state, because remember, all these functions are taking an input state and an output state here. Yeah, look at this host field. For some reason, it's spitting out something weird. So let's go look at the output form. And let's start our investigation. All right, so where's the output form? Validator. This is what's happening here. See that? Yep, I forgot about this part right here. So when we do the output format, we actually, I think we took this functionality, we popped it out of the output formatter and put it up into the pre-flight check. Because the pre-flight check should go and look, hey, do we already have host data that we can act on? And if we do, then we go act on it, see if we can solve the problems with it. And if we don't, then cool, we just drop it back. But this is probably a holdover from that right here. I'm gonna mark that with a debug real quick and then go double check the logic for the pre-flight check. Where was that function? That was over in host update. I think we called it, yeah, get stub hook. Enum agent 63. Yeah, that's where it's at. Yeah, we are. Salty, what's up, my brother? Dude, yeah. You know what's up, man. I'm just hanging in there. Trying to decide if I need to go, if I still need to go to Chicago. Or I'm supposed to fly out on Tuesday. So tomorrow is going to be a big day of just figuring that out. So make sure to spend the day with the kids because he's here locally, so not to keep anybody in the dark, but my dad is unfortunately back in the hospital. He has had a very constant battle with congestive heart failure for the last 5 years. And he's not doing so hot this time. I thought this was another regular occurrence, but this time appears to be especially bad. So he's here in town where I live, but I'm supposed to fly to Chicago for work on Tuesday because I ended my paternity leave early. So that's what I'm trying to figure out right now is if I'm still going to be going to Chicago. I got to wait and talk to my dad's heart doctor tomorrow to see how he's doing. Oh yeah, brother, I'll message you when I find out. Okay, so this is the part that is messing everything. I think we can... drop these two parts right. Yeah, let's get rid of this line. That's cool. Yeah, I think that's the issue right there. The output value, because we originally, when the output came back, we were going to try and merge it into the host update. We decided to bust that out into its own function, so it became its own node in the graph. Like we can overlook at enum here. So we have our own host update node that does all the logic of merging everything together. Hey, Brumbo, what's up, man? Happy Sunday. Yeah, man, doing okay, getting mostly better each day. If I could just have everybody stop going into the hospital and getting sick, that would be fantastic. I think that if that was a simple fix in here, I think we're good. Impressive. I already booted up the Try-Hack Me box. I kind of want to do something real fast, though. I want to make a small change to Go Buster. I want to change the thread count on here. Hey, Monkey, what's up, man? Dude, I wish I could take credit for, this part here? But this is actually all the stuff from the guys that make LangChain and LangGraph. This is called the LangGraph Studio. So it's pretty neat because I can choose the different execution workflows, the graphs that we've got, and I can even expand it out. So like now we've got the recon workflow, now we've got the enum workflow. So we can actually watch it as it executes, hit all these different nodes. It's pretty sick. I like it. Oh, wait, I need to grab the IP. Drop that in. That's going to be our target IP address. And then, oh wait, I was doing one more thing here. I needed to look up something. Go Buster. I need to see how to do the threads. There you go, TAC-T. Default is 10 threads. I'm going to just do a quick buff up of this to like 20 threads. I'm going to try to get it to run a little faster. Let's try something here. Tact. And then 20. Think that'll work? There we go. Let me rerun the server here. Hey, Squee, what's up, man? What program are you using, or is this one you've created? So this is one that we created. Oh, it apparently didn't like the Go Buster update. This tool here, this one that I'm currently writing, is, for lack of a better name, called Hack the Bot. And it's an AI agent system that's supposed to basically play hacking CTFs. So hack the box, try hack me, hence the name Hack the Bot, because I'm really original and creative when it comes to naming. So what we're doing is we're testing it right now. Eventually, it's going to have 4 different agents it can call. So like each of these is its own agent. So let me collapse these down, see a little better. So the supervisor is called Stinger, but then there's a recon and enumeration. Eventually, after I think here in just a minute, we're going to start working on the exploitation agent. So the one that's going to work on getting the initial code execution after we find out what the exploit is. Then we're going to go ahead and try and actually get it to drop an exploit onto the system. Then we'll have one more agent called post-exploitation. Post-exploitation is going to handle what do we do once we land on the system. So it's everything's built in LangGraph, so we're having a lot of fun with that. The exploitation agent, I believe, is going to be the single hardest one. It's followed closely by the post-exploitation agent. So we're about to actually get into the hard stuff of it. Oh, I know what I need to do. Let's see if I can change something. If I just wrap this, take that out, if it'll accept that. And so what I'm working on right now is what's called RoboPages. And RoboPages is a server that allows us to send calls and they get executed inside of a Docker container. So you can see like up here, where's an example? It ran Docker run and it ran Go Buster for us right here. So this was going through doing a directory brute force against a web server in our little test system. But it's been a lot of fun. I've been enjoying the heck out of it. We're about to run it again here because I want to see how it's going to operate. So one of the cool things about the LangGraph Studio is I can come in and drop in basically a state table to initialize this and then let it run through and do the execution workflow. Let's go ahead and run it. if this all works, it worked last time. It did mostly what it was supposed to do. The problem is, while it's doing this, I'm going to let it just run. But over here, what you have is you've got one object that you pass around to all of the different nodes in the graphs called your state table. And so Stinger's state here has a dictionary of hosts based on their IP address and then to a host object, which has a couple of different fields into it. This field was getting blanked out due to some leftover code whenever I did a big update and change to it. So if that works, then recon and enumeration are going to be set. We can then start thinking about how to do the exploitation agent. I'm very new to this, just working through my CPTS on Hack the Box. Nice, man. Very cool. My biggest recommendation is, with any type of like cybersecurity certification, is try to understand how the underlying stuff is working, right? Get a good understanding of it, because the best way I ever heard it described what you're doing when you're doing like an offensive security or even defensive, but essentially all hacking is you're changing the spark plugs in an engine, but rather than going under the hood, you're going in through the tailpipe. It's unauthorized system administration when you get down to brass tacks. Hey, cool. Looks like it's actually working. Now, why are we hitting the output formatter? Unless GoBuster worked. Okay, something didn't go right here because I can already see that we've had more than one tool call happen, and that should not have been the case. Something went awry. Actually, I take it back. Actually, it looks like it might be working. Hold on. No, something is very, very wrong here. Cancel. Something definitely went wrong. Oh, invalid argument 20 for TAC T threads. Okay. So it was working. However, the update I just made to GoBuster's command lines borked it. Invalid argument 20 for TAC T. Now, why is that? Because that should work just fine. Oh, I think it's where I placed it. That's for ENS. I think that's a global flag, though, so probably what happens is we need to place that in the beginning. That's it, checking for vhost, buzz mode, S3 mode. I think the problem actually might be where I placed the argument here. Let me try that. I'm gonna try it here instead. I think I might be able to just rerun it from there. Let's see. Rerun from. Cancel. Okay. I think we're just going to do maybe a new one. Yeah, we'll just rerun it because it doesn't take a ton now that we've cleaned up the code and it's not reusing. It's not having to do tool calls for every single task. It's referencing the data we already collected in the host table. So what we'll do is we'll just rerun. We can do. Oh, come on. I need to figure out how to handle that error here. So there's an error that pops up. Close all this. One also thing that's cool about this is that we can get the full error call right out of here. Anthropic API status error overload. Alright, so one thing we can do. I didn't mean to do that. This happened in initializer here. Let's go take a look. See, where's our LLM call? It is this one right here. If anybody has to come across this. Actually, let's just do Python catch. Because I gotta remember how to do this. We haven't put any exception handling into the code yet. Alright, handling exceptions. So we want while true, try this. Accept value. Oops, value was not true. So what I want to do is I want to have it where if this works, try the LLM call, and if it doesn't work, then back off for 5 seconds and then try it again, or... Which I guess we could wrap this in this while true. Let me think about this. I'm trying to think of what would be the best way to handle that. Let's see. LangGraph edge. Handling tool calling errors. Let me see if anybody has any good. Lots of things on handling tool calling error. This isn't a tool calling error. This is a API error. API status. I've read through this one before to see if anybody had any suggestions for. Hey, SM, what's up, man? So LangChain has an ability to set up a runnable with a fallback. So runnable that can fall back to other runnables. External APIs may at times experience degraded performance. Downtime in these cases, it'd be nice to have a runnable backup. Okay. You can use with fallbacks on a runnable. But all is lost. This is funny. So what they did is they have a chain with a fallback, so they send in the prompt template to the model, they do a string output parser, and they run it with a fallback. Not exactly ideal. Let's see, so if string is specified, then handle the exception to be passed to the. Because what I wanted to do is, if it gets the overloaded message, I want it to back off for a minute.
I don't want to use a different runnable. I want to use the same one. I'm gonna do the responsible thing. I'm going to ignore. I'm gonna run it again. I'll have to think about maybe putting those fallbacks in later. The problem is I don't want to fall back to a different. I don't want to fall back to a different language model. I want to stick to using Claude 3.7 for now. Eventually, I do want to make it to where people can go slot in their own various language models. So if you wanted to run it with ChatGPT, you could. All right, so there's it running our TCP port SYN scan. So that'll take it just a second. Man, I hope that took the. Look at something here. So where's our host table? Okay, so our host table did have the ports into it. That's fine. Doing good there. It's trying to run GoBuster again, so something in our command line. I just realized it's because I'm an idiot. I don't know if I restarted it after I made that change. Alright, so you know what I want to do? There. Now let me go ahead and kill the server, restart. Eventually, I'll have RoboPages set up where it'll be kind of standalone, and it will be run directly from within the program. So whenever it boots up, it'll start it. Okay, let's run this again. Because the dead giveaway here is once it hits GoBuster, if it finishes too fast, that's the dead giveaway. Because GoBuster takes a minute or two to run while it's doing that. One enhancement we could probably make in the future is letting the tool calls run asynchronously. So like we could run multiple tools. Then I gotta figure out asynchronous. Let's see here. Okay, it looks like it actually is working now. Sweet. So GoBuster is actually running. So once GoBuster finishes, we can double check the host data. If the host table is still intact, then we should be Gucci. Why it's rendering so funny, because typically we'll have this rendered a little bit differently. And it's fine. Let this run for just a second here. Once GoBuster finishes, Okay, good. We did get the additional timer in there. Good. And this is using a small word list too. Like this is not even a huge word. Check something. So, privilege escalation. What did we do here? That's right. We had a suid binary user bin Python. Sweet. So what we're going to do is we're going to find us a web shell we can toss up there. We'll have it run Python code to get us a reverse shell back. Once it does that, we'll set up some persistence so we can just SSH over into the system. Once we can SSH into it, we're then going to go into Mythic, set up Arachne, and we're going to drop that in there. We're going to see what we can do. Did we finish yet? Nope, still running. So while this is running, you kind of think about the exploitation agent. I think we're going to get ready to move on to that here a bit. So for this, what we're going to need to do is, first step is we're going to have to find a potential vulnerability. Then we're going to have to test that vulnerability. After we test that vulnerability, then we're going to need to weaponize. That is basically making it so, all right, our test case works, so how do we actually use it to get kind of persistent code execution? And then the fourth step is actually going to be the exploitation. Exploit for shell. So what we might end up doing is actually breaking these into their own minor graphs. So like finding the potential vulnerability, testing that vulnerability, weaponizing it. For finding the potential vulnerability, there's things we'll want to do like, hey, maybe we have a language model call that picks out certain things like, hey, what is the version number? Can we find potential exploits in like exploit DB for that, which is what a lot of CTFs use. Like they're kind of off the shelf vulnerabilities. We might also have to add in a web search agent into this, where it can go through, or at least like a web search node, it could go query the internet for vulnerabilities for that. Which is part of the reason why over here, oh, did it finish? Oh, looks like the run finished. Let's go see. The answer, 10. Nice. Awesome. What version of Apache is? Nice. So our tool. Excellent. So notice how this one here, so just to walk through this real fast what happens. Let's check the host data again real quick. So our host, all of our data, running Apache, script output. Or output, oh, here we go. Actually, I want to see it down here. Ah, here we go. Directories found. JS, upload, CSS, panel and server status. So what we could do then is say, okay, cool, let's go check these directories. Do we see anything that might potentially be exploitable for those? Like, do we have an upload form? Anything? Oh, this is gonna be a pain in the... But it's cool that we did get this. Awesome. Actually, let me look at the full trace of it. Open. Because, for example, when we first enter, before we do the tool call, right? We look at where we're at with this. We look at this host. What we have is we've got basically 3 scripts for port 80, right? We have, and this is all basic information that came from NMAP, right? But then once we get down to past the host update, down here to the passing back to the router, we got the additional information from GoBuster of what was found. Excellent. Okay. Oh, let me think about this. So one thing we might do here is, as far as looking for the vulnerabilities, eventually I did want to add the ability for agents to create new tasks for themselves. One thing we might do is have it analyze the data about the host, right? Hey, go look at the host and say, what could we potentially do with this? Like, is there an open, because it's got 2 ports, right? Is there an OpenSSH version vulnerability? Are there other exploits that might be available for it? Like, we look at the CPE data. Look at something. Go. So this one's OpenBSD or OpenSSH 7.6. Close enough here. All right, let's see. Vulnerability was found in OpenSSH when the verify host key DNS options enabled. OpenSSH through 9.6. Oh, here's a high one. So when common types of DRAM are used, might allow rowhammer. Not exactly. Let's see. PKCS 11 feature in SSH agent and OpenSSH before this one has insufficiently trustworthy search path leading to remote code execution if the agent is forwarding an attacker to an attacker control. Alright, interesting. Super. Let's see. SCP and OpenSSH through 8.3.p1 allows command injection SCP or remote function. So it's demonstrated by backtick characters of the destination. Interesting. I'm not quite so sure. I'm trying to think about how I want it to look for things. I think as we're looking at it in this setup, there's actually going to be 2 sub branches to this one. And the first one is going to be, my favorite would be misconfigured. And then the second one would actually be something like CVEs, where there's actually like a known published exploit for it. Because misconfigurations don't get CVEs, but they do open holes in the system. It's expected functionality that's maybe just not as helpful. So searching for misconfigs might be. So a misconfiguration from there might be something like a good old weak password. Let's see, what would be another one? Basically just anything that's taking user input validation. So user input validation, like I said, this is the one that it's going to be the biggest pain to kind of work through. So it's going to be a lot more planning and thinking about how to begin structure. Hang on one second. Let me check something. Sorry, the stream monitor was something weird happening. Because it looks like we're doing good. Actually, so the first thing I need to do is go commit the code up to GitHub, because now it's actually working. All right, enum agent, recon agent, stinger. Yep. Let's see. Fixed recon and enum to reference post table for pre-flight check. So that is done. Let's go push that real fast. Did you fix the lighting on your camera? I think I fixed it. I mean, oh no, the difference is I have I moved my desk SM, so I was in a room that was much smaller and I had the green screen a lot closer to me. Now I'm in an actually like dark room. There's no chance of light bleeding through the green screen because the green screen is not very thick. New Pixel Perfect. Thanks for coming online. Welcome in and I hope you're having a happy Sunday. Peaches is chilling under my desk right now. All right, let's see here. Trying to think about this. Eventually, so we're at the point now. Enum and Recon are kind of at a chill spot. So for our agents, now here's the next question. I'm trying to think of how I want to build this out. So these are all what I would call like our what do I want to call these? Like this is our supervisor agent here, Stinger, Recon, Exploit, Enumeration, and Post-X. These are all what I'd call like first degree agents, right? See if I can find the diagram. Yeah, here we go. So looking at the rough outline we had here from months ago, so Stinger would be kind of like like I say, this is our supervisor. These would be what I call first degree agents in here. But then we're also going to have what I call like second degree agents. So we need to do an exploitation against a web server, right? So there would be an exploit agent specifically set up for web exploits. So we could kind of customize it and have it working around that idea here. And I was trying to think, like, maybe I would just call that, this is like a 0 degree agent. This is a first degree. This would be a second degree agent. Just trying to think of where to put those. Which, I mean, we could just put them here in agents. In fact, what I might do is just make a new specialty. Okay. And what we'll do is I'm going to make a new not a new Python file here, and this is going to be, I'm going to call it exploit web. Then what we're going to do is down here in the exploitation agent, which is just blank right now because we haven't been doing anything. Go ahead and close these two. Same thing with tasking and just up. So for our exploitation agent, what we want to do is, first thing we want to do is we want to go analyze the data we've got, right? We're going to look at the host data. One thing that also is a bit of a limiting factor on this is Stinger or Hackbot currently can only really handle one task. It's pretty much single threaded, right? It's handling one task for one box it's trying to execute. Eventually we could go back and try to rework it to where it could handle multiple tasks. One of the downsides is you get something like, if we look at the trace, when it did GoBuster, right? It took almost 3 minutes to run GoBuster. So we're sitting there twiddling our thumbs for 3 minutes while GoBuster was running. Where it could have potentially, if we had other tasks, it could have gone through, affected those, and tried to run other tasks. I actually have an idea on something that just occurred to me. So for Stinger, we have the initialization node, right? The initializer. Yeah, Ty, eventually I think we're going to have to put in multi-threading if I ever want it to be able to move through something like Game of Active Directory with any kind of speed. That's really thinking about, hey, what if we take this and try to run it against something like, run it against a larger environment, right? Where we really want it to be able to go and handle, you know, a multitude of agents. For CTF land, it's not such a big deal, right? The biggest CTFs you'll find typically only have less than 10 machines in them. And so that's one of the things I always caution folks about when you're first getting into cybersecurity. Doing CTFs is a great exercise, right? But it's more akin to working out in the gym versus fighting somebody like on the mat. And the reason for that is because you're learning some specialty exercises, but once you take that step up of, hey, I'm not just exercising my body, I'm exercising against an adversary, there's a difference in scale there. And that's one of my big things that I don't have a good way to help people overcome. I've got an idea, something I might try to build with Ludus to help give that illusion of finding the needle in the haystack. Because the absolute smallest network I ever pen tested was 50 hosts on that network, 50 active IP addresses. That was the single smallest one. And that is probably 5 to 10 times the size of the CTF that you're ever going to see, like the bigger CTFs. It's the same software from, or same soundtrack from Pirate Software's game. Yeah, it's mostly the Heartbound soundtrack. I actually am slowly finding in new songs to add into it. My buddy actually just showed me this, and I haven't had time to dig into it. But the Moby, what's the name? Like the artist? He created this catalog called Moby Gratis. And so Moby Gratis is basically some DRM free or not copyright free, but basically free usage music that he's put out. However, he has a couple of different he's got 2 different licenses for usage in here. So I haven't had time to dig in to see like which ones are really available, but he's got a ton of them in here. And so you could choose like what format you wanted, what kind of rough genre it was. So I've got a couple other songs built into it, but currently right now, I think 80% of the music in the playlist, probably closer to 85%, is from Heartbound. And it's because I had a really big, nice playlist of stuff that was supposed to be like DRM free or DMCA, free. And I kept getting dinged for it on Twitch and on YouTube, and sometimes on one and not the other. So I gave up and eventually just said, okay, you know what? Here's $5, Pirate Software. Give me your damn soundtrack so I just don't have to worry about music anymore. I'm so sick of fighting with DMCA BS. So I am actually planning on filtering through this list to find songs, one that will work for the stream, because like I said, they have 2 different kinds of tracks in here, and I gotta figure, like, some of these they call the restricted tracks. I gotta understand really what the difference is. I was reading the license, I didn't quite catch it, what all was doing. And then find ones that actually work, and then I'll download those, I'll throw them into the playlist. And once I get done with that, there's probably gonna be at least like 100 in here. Heartbound is gonna go from being roughly 85% of the soundtrack for the stream to probably closer to 50%. Check out World's Most Epic Pirate Music Mix. Take a look at that. I do like finding nice music for games. One of the downsides that you'll come across also is one of the reasons why the Heartbound soundtrack works so well is because it is video game music. So video game music is, I like to call it salt. It's not meant to be the primary flavor, it's meant to be a flavor enhancer. PvP Penguin. They can be vicious. Thanks for coming online. Welcome in. Check this out. Dang, that video was put out 10 years ago, and it's got 7 million views. Crap, holy cow. So, like I said, that's one of the main things that's so helpful about video game music, and one of the reasons I like it. So I don't know how well the Moby Gratis tracks are going to work. Like I said, I'm going to dig into it. My buddy just sent it to me last week. I've been pretty busy since then. Yeah, video game music is perfect for focusing. It's meant to be in the background, enhancing the experience, not dominating the experience. Alright, let's check something. So actually, I think one of the things I might want to do first is let's go actually pull up, look at something over in Proxmox. Where is our devs? No, it's our Hack the Box system. So Callie is currently off. Yeah, let me go ahead and start that one up. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop dev off the VPN. Go ahead and kill that real quick. Actually, I want to leave that. I changed my mind. But what I'm going to do is We're going to drop off the VPN over here. I'm going to go set up Kali. Actually, I got to check and make sure that actually did start up correct. Console. Okay, good. It actually did boot up. Let's go get connected over into. Okay, cool. In here, I need. Okay, give me 1 sec because I need to copy over some authentication. Give me 1 sec, guys. Stand by. That should be good. Georgia Delio, what's up? Thanks for coming online, man. Happy Sunday. All right, I need to double check something here real quick. What I might do is just drop into an SSH session. Let's load up a TMUX session. And let's dice code. What's that? That was I think that was the command shell we used for the first time we exploited this system. That's all right. Let me do something. Let's copy. Home Kali. Copy that here. Oh. Alright, so we should be good there. Let me come back over here. Let's rename this window. Keep track of what it's doing. Here, let's do just a real quick in-map scan on our target. Make sure the VPN's up and running. Like that. Yeah, run in-map. I forget how bare bones this Kali instance is. Oh, cool. So at least it's working, though. I don't know if we even had Docker on this thing. Yeah, we did not. Oh, come to think of it, I think we were running everything over on dev. Come to think of it, because this Kali box was so old and so out of date. Let's see, Docker. Yeah, we had that running. Did I delete Mythic off this system? Because if I did, I'm gonna be really mad at myself. Let's see. Mythic. Yeah, I did put it in there. All right, that's fine. Actually, I forgot. This needs to be run as root, so go 10. Mythic CLI? Don't have. I think there is an update command. Mythic update is available. This will require doing a git pull and making a new Mythic CLI sudo. Let's do that real quick. Let's update Mythic. Get a good copy of it. Because what I want to do is I want to use this agent from Mythic Lang. Let's see. Mythic C2 Arachne. So this is a Mythic agent we could plug into our Mythic install, and it should give us web shell-like access. So that's what I'm looking at real quick. But the problem is whenever we tried this with Mythic, it kind of ate itself. It wasn't functioning. So what we're going to do is we're going to actually go hack back into the system. We're going to root it. We're going to get ourselves a reverse shell back out of it. We're going to either dump the SSH key or get a copy of it. So we have a little bit of easy persistence to it. After we do that, then we're going to generate Arachne, dump it onto the system, and then we're going to try and run it. We're going to see what happens. We're going to see if we get the error logs. A lot to pull down. Cody is constantly doing updates to Mythic, so I'm not surprised. Probably what I'll do is, when we get to the post-exploitation agent, I'm going to pick a particular commit of Mythic, and that's what we're going to have it do. So really, Mythic should be managed by Stinger as well, so when the script pops up, when it starts running, what we'll have it do is we'll have it spin up robo pages and Mythic. Oh yeah. Rocking the green Jockos that y'all can't even see, but not sponsored by Jocko yet. I kind of wish I asked more questions when Cody was doing the interview. I barely asked any questions. I can always ask him. He's a really cool guy. He and I work together quite a bit. And so I can always ask him to come back on if that's something y'all want. I'm sure he'd be more than happy to. Okay, so let's do... what was the command? Yeah, just sudo make. Let me go pull this. We're going to remake the CLI here. Oh. Let's see. Hey, Gumby Man, thanks for the reset, brother. You know I heart you. Don't tell Salty though. He'll be salty if he finds out. I call anyone else boo. I am not a chicken lover, sir. I am a chicken connoisseur. And a chicken wrangler. A sort of, you know, person who takes care of them. Make sure that they're competing and producing to the best of their abilities. A jockey, if you will. A kind of chicken jockey. I'm honestly surprised my older son has not asked me more to go see the Minecraft movie. I've heard that one before.
Caution. A virus has been detected.
S1Y_B0RG virus detected in the network.
Nerd! Hey, Slyborg, what's going on? Welcome in, Raiders. And hey, Oni. Happy Sunday. So we're about to actually do a little bit of manual hackage on here to get back into this try hackery box. So I can make sure I know how something was working, because I need it to work before we do the exploitation and post-exploitation steps. It is Sunday fun day. let's give this a second. It's pulling down all the various containers we need for Mythic on here. And then we'll get it set up. I think I need... Let me look at something real quick. Mythic. Okay. Okay, sudo... Get admin. Yeah, there we go. I needed that admin password, right? The ENB file. How's your day? Did your wife kill you for staying up too late last night? Obviously not, because here I am. Oh, the new season of Diablo 4 is live and it's lit. Nice. Dude, I will consider picking back up Diablo 4 after I hit a couple of milestones in Darktide. Because right now when I'm playing Darktide, I'm trying to like level up all the weapons. And once I get through that, I want to kind of pick back up Diablo. I kind of miss Diablo 4. It looked really cool. Path of Exiles looks really awesome too. The talent tree in there just looks hella intimidating though. Maybe I have 9 lives. If I had 9 lives, I would have used them up by now. Because I have done some incredibly dumb things in my life. I mean, I'm not saying I have the market cornered on doing dumb stuff, but I've certainly got some insider trading going on that I swear. One of the fun abilities that I've kind of got is I can take really big leaps of logic. I can jump in certain areas from, I don't have to go A to B to C to D to E. I can go straight from like A to like K in some respects. But that does not translate to everything everywhere all at once. No. And as a case in point, everybody's seeing what I'm doing here and thinking, wow, that's cool. I could never be that smart. I'm going to tell you something that is probably one of the most embarrassing things I'll ever admit about myself. And that is, I did not realize that hash browns were made from potatoes until I was 23 years old. I wish I was joking. I don't know what I thought they were made of. I knew what tater tots were made of. I knew what French fries were made from. Hash browns? Magic wheat of some kind. Yeah. So just keep that in mind anytime you think I am doing something that's amazing that could potentially you would never match up for. Absolutely not. What one fool can do, so can another. But they taste like potato. Do they though? Not when you get them at Waffle House. You get them smothered, get them covered, you know, get them shipwreck style. They don't really taste the potato. It just tastes like everything that is covering the potato. So, now I know this now. That was 18 years ago. I'm 41 now. But I wish that was an exaggeration. That is a 100% truthful story there. Let's see. Oh wait, here we go. I just noticed Mythic actually started. Now for some reason it's saying it didn't start up.
Shut up, baby. I know it.
I have Chrome running on here? Thought I did.
Bullshit, I can't hear you. Sound off like you got a pair.
Gumby, you're so full of crap.
Fight the planet!
A planet. Let's see. I think I have Mythic in here. That's right, 7443. Go to it. Ah, it's so bright. What's the login for this? It was Mythic Admin. Hey, there we go. Am I going to DHA this week? I am not going to DHA this week. For those who don't know, that's the Dallas Hackers Association. Because I got to go to Chicago for work. So. Mix, like, what's up? Ah, light theme. It's not light theme, it's just how that particular page rendered. Alright, so I want to do something here real. I'm gonna go ahead and nuke these two here. Move those, and then let's do something. So let's do generate new payload. I'm gonna do Linux, and it's gonna be for Arachne. We'll go ahead and have it encrypted. We'll put a kill date of like 2035. I don't know, something stupid. And so let's see. Oh, you know what? I just realized probably we'll need to double check it. Our web shell. Dude, I hope I mean, Chicago's not a very far flight from Dallas anyway. I think it's an hour and a half. I mean, it's only slightly further than flying to Houston. Look, let's see. Flight time from Dallas to Chicago. Oh, it's 2.5 hours. All right, cool. I'll actually have time to get through a decent movie or get a good nap on planet. For some reason, I thought it was an hour and a half. You were close, Gumpy. 2.5 hours if you're flying nonstop from DFW International. Yeah, man, I'm gonna be in Chicago Tuesday. Tuesday, and I'll head back on Saturday. I just realized something. I need to come through and look at something for Acme. No, that's not it. Ah, here it is. It's a little disk file here. What am I doing at Chicago? I've got a work trip, and so it's a big company get-together. They do it once a year, and this is just that week of the year. So flying out, like I said, on Tuesday, flying back on Saturday. So I'll be there that whole week. So if anybody's in Chicago and would like to meet up and just hang out for a little bit, let me know. We can message me on Discord and do !Discord in the chat. It'll take you over to the Discord channel or server and hit me up. Go hang out. As long as it's not in Lincoln Park. 'Cause that's where I stayed last time, and I was honestly surprised I didn't get shot. It's closer to 3 hours because I fly it every week. Damn. Well, at least I don't gotta rush to be there. Let's see here. Hang on one sec, guys. I heard a weird noise. It's just my wife working in the other room. Alright, what am I gonna call this? Let's call this, URL to target where agent will live or redirect that will forward to the message. What do we have for this box? Let me look this up real quick. Look at the host data that we had collected. Alright, so host data here, port 80. We gotta tell it where it's gonna live. I don't want to necessarily do it by IP address because, so what I was thinking about doing was doing a little bit of host file chicanery here. I love the dial-up sound, even though it is ungodly loud in these new in-ear monitors that I'm using. But I do love it. It's the sound of my childhood. It's non-me. None of me. What's up? Thanks for coming online. Welcome in. And I hope you are having a happy Sunday. Do this. Let's just call it... So we're going to call it hack.it. And what we'll do is we'll put in a... we'll put in something in here. Actually, I need to do something. Oh, let's go... That is not what I want. That's not what I wanted either. Hold on. Let me get the IP address again here. What we'll do is, let's do a quick update. Sudo vim Etsy host. And let's go add a host here. So what we'll do is, we'll say, that is going to be evil.it. No, hack.it. That's what we said. Say hack.it. Yeah. Hack it. Okay. So we'll save that real quick. And then what we can do is we can just hit hack.it. So can you root me? So the hidden one here is /panel. We come over to panel, we choose and we upload. That's easy enough. In-ear monitors can be dangerous, but they're fun. These ones actually, they provide pretty good sound, and it's different sound from what I had from these Corsair headphones. These were not bad. They actually had really good bass to them. I might get a kind of inline booster for these so I can get a little bit more bass, but the audio is actually really good, especially when I'm playing Darktide. I can hear the enemy's footsteps coming up behind me trying to backstab me a lot easier. So I like them. They work out pretty well. But I have to go back and I have to rebalance a lot of the sounds that are coming out of the various programs that I've got running the stream. One of them being StreamerBot, which plays the dial-up sound. And oh my god, it is so loud every time someone follows. I'm like, yay! Someone likes the stuff I'm doing. Ow, my eardrums. Yeah, exactly. That's exactly how it goes. All right, let me try something. So what we did is we updated this. I think we go somewhere. So we go hack.it. I think it was /uploads. Yeah, so we should see the stuff that we upload right here. So if we choose a file, go to Debian, like I'm gonna do a quick just upload a weird .txt file. Upload. And if we come over here to uploads, we see our nmap.output. That's fine. I think what we had to do here was we had to change it. It wouldn't take a PHP file. I think it has to be a PHP 5 file. I didn't like it. If you're in Chicago, avoid taking the red line. Yeah, no, I'm gonna be taking Ubers everywhere. Company's paying for it. I took I want to say it was the yellow line one time, and it wasn't bad, but it's not an experience I'd like to repeat. Let me try something here. Let's come over here. So we're going to do hack it. It's going to be in uploads. And this is going to be... Yeah. And we're going to call this evil PHP 5, I think. Go ahead and create this. And then, now that we've created that profile, we can import that when we create the Arachne payload. So what we'll do is we'll come Linux. Do next. And I'm skipping through all this because I don't have Arachne does not have dynamic command loading. So if we had like a list of 100 commands and we only wanted to insert certain ones into the agent, we could do that here. Arachne doesn't have that functionality. It just has a complete set of commands that it can do. So what we want to do is do web shell for root to me. And this should be uploads evil.php. Next. And what we'll do is we'll call this, I'm just going to call it evil.php. I want to say that's how we had to do this. Let's go ahead and download that. And it put an extra PHP on there. How? You just come over to downloads, remove that. Remove evil. I believe that's what we did when we executed this. I'm going to try it. Let's choose a file. Download. If we come over to uploads, you see evil.php right here. So let's see if we can connect over to. So now that this is uploaded on here, we come over to our callbacks. And we should have this one here. I think the command we give it is check-in. Alright, so we got some kind of error when accessing. Let's go see if we can just click on it. It seems to work okay, but failed to find task response and agent response. Okay, and that's kind of what I was expecting. So what we can do is we can go grab a generic web shell, we can hop in there, do our backdooring and our persistence and everything, and then after we get that, we can start debugging to see why was this one not working. Maybe there's some kind of change we can make it simple. Let's see, packet upload evil PHP file. Let me go double check the root me. Oh, that's why. It's trying to connect to HTTP instead of HTTP. Or sorry, it's trying to connect to HTTPS instead of HTTP. Didn't like that. Okay, so what we can do is we just hide this callback. Hide this one. What we'll do is we'll just remake this. Gotta watch. So this is where paying attention to the details is real. I screwed it up and I did not. I didn't have it connecting to the right protocol. Hey, Big Doggy, what's up, man? And Ford, what's up? I hadn't seen either of y'all in a minute. Glad to see you boys. How's it going? This one will be evil.php live. Be on THM. Generate the payload. Alright, so Arachne works a little bit differently. When you generate this payload, you're supposed to drop it into one of the web servers. Hey, man, what's up, man? Oh, so yes, hack the planet. I think my obfuscation broke something. Nope, HTTPS is accidentally on. Yeah. Let's see here. All right, so see how we have a new callback over here? It's got our same description to it. So what we should be able to do is hopefully have it check in. And we're getting the same error, so not completely unheard of. But what we can do is, let's go check. I think I've got... thought I already had seclist downloaded. So what we're doing today, band, is it looks like Inum and Recon are doing what they're supposed to. So they're in their current stable state. We're able to complete everything through the task list we've currently got for like the seed set of data, right? And as it's executing, it's using the host table, so it completes all 4 tasks using only 2 tool calls, a single nmap and a single GoBuster scan. Works just fine. So the next step we're going to do is start working the exploitation agent. But I need to double check some stuff since it is a web exploit. We got to go drop a web shell on there. So what we're going to do is we're going to reroute the box, get in there, and then we're going to do sysadmin stuff and debug it. And we're going to see what we can find out about why the Arachne payload's not working. ECD2. I think it's in Robo Pages. Yeah, and I think I've got seclist there. Yep, there's seclist. Let's do a git pull on it real up if I put 2 L's in. I don't know the error. That's what we're gonna go figure out. I'm so glad y'all can't hear that. I can hear that, but the way the reason I love the shotgun mic is I can hear stuff happening in the other room that doesn't come through on the microphone. Okay, I'm just pulling a new copy of seclist in here because we've got some good web shells in here. All right, just waiting for Git to do its thing. Trying to get good, but they keep. This doesn't really surprise me though, because seclist is a pretty chunky repository. It has so much. But for anybody who hasn't seen this, this is the repo, by the way, for anybody who's wondering what it is. And it has a ton of stuff in here. Stuff about, and Daniel Miesler, who puts it together, kind of curates it. He's been real big onto AI and language model stuff. So I wonder what he's got in here. Bias testing, data leakage, memory recall testing. Oh, very cool. But yeah, it's got a ton of stuff in here. So like stuff for payloads, by the way. So zip bomb, traversals, file names, AV. There's also web shells. And we'll go to PHP. This is the one we used, the dicecode.php. Speaking of wordless, I have an idea that I've been working on. I should run by you sometime. Okay, yeah, man. Just message me on Discord, bro. And if it's one that I think another buddy of mine who's real big on like curating wordless and ruleless, I think he'd be interested in, I'll hook you up with him. He's a former coworker and a really good buddy of mine. Super smart guy. I learned a ton from him when I was at my my previous employer. All right, cool. So this is done. So what I want to do is let's copy from web shells. I think it's PHP, Disco. Just gonna move that over into download. And what we'll do is back over here. Oh, so I need to can I rename it? I cannot. Yes. Let's just so download Disco. Move that to Disco HP5. There we go. Because if we tried to upload just a PHP file, and in fact, I'll tell you what. I'll show y'all real fast kind of what it does. So it's got a very basic filter in it where if I come over here and I try to upload the PHP version, and I apologize, I know that's really tiny, but this one has the .php extension to it. I upload that. PHP no es permitido. I don't know what that actually says, but it doesn't like it. So we tried a couple other things, but then we finally realized that, hey, if we just rename that to a PHP 5, it's like, oh, that's good. Bien. Now, if we come back over here, reload this, now we've got this diceco.php5. And I think what we have here is... I gotta double check the code on that. Which I believe it just looks at... Oh, there we go. So what we do is we send it a command and then we just get the output for it. So for example, if we come over here and we do question mark cmd equals who am I, we get an echo back saying we're running a strip dubs data. So easy way to do this is we take this, let's come over to our command line right here. What we'll do is we'll rename this to our README web shell. And we can just curl it. So we can do a curl against this. We'll want to wrap this a bit. I think I can just... Actually, let me just try this. Yeah, that works out just fine. All right. So what we could do is we could actually have it download and execute various things. We could even have it run Python for us. So what I wanted to do is do a... I think we actually did this in... I want to say we did this in Burp Suite last time, but this should be fine. Let's do /home. I want to see if this will work. Let's see. So there's our user.txt file. So this is where, and if we copied that, right? So we did user.txt. And if we just did a cat on that, then this is the same one that we had before. So just as a quick sanity check, we come over here, getting the shell. Like, oh my gosh, you got the shell. Hooray. So what we could also do is we could upload a payload to it. This would actually be all of our PostX stuff. So we're doing everything through PostX. We're going to get an actual like callback on it and let it do its thing. Why don't you just upload a rev shell and use netcat to call back to you and get a shell? I'm going to. You're skipping ahead in the plot, Gumby. I've given examples here for everybody else who is new to this. We can't all be as elite as you, Gumby. But we just look at the box and it submits and reveals all of its secret key. So, yeah, but no, this was just a quick example here. So let's see here. What I want to do is, and if I'm going to cheat a little bit, and if you're not cheating, you're not trying. When we did the privest, we knew that user bin Python here had our was a SUID bin, so it would actually execute as root. So just as another quick sanity check, we did so ls plus, and these pluses are taking the places of the spaces. That's all we're doing. So we'll do attack la plus. If we look at the Python binary, you see how it's got this super user bit set right here. This is what we're looking at. And then it's set to root. So when this binary executes, it executes with root permissions no matter what user is calling it. So we can do that. We could have Python go through and run and do whatever else. Be super elite and use SOCAT. I wish I understood SOCAT better. It is so feature rich. I hate to admit it, but I only use SOCAT whenever I can find like pre-baked commands that I could just modify. I don't know SOCAT well enough to be like, oh, let me just SOCAT this shit up real fast. But I was doing really good. Let's see. There's another point for the swear jar. Way to be accountable. I am trying, man. When it hits 50, what I'll do is when it hits like every 50th entry in there, I'm gonna make a donation, probably to St. Jude's. And so I'll post it up on Twitter and on the Discord whenever I do that. 50 equals 50 gifted subs? Yeah. Yeah. Why wouldn't murder me? What I plan to do is whenever it hits 50, like every 50 points in the swear jar, I was gonna go donate $50 to St. Jude's. Then we can all take cookie. Let's see here. How do I want to do this? I think it's just, if I remember correctly. Try something here. I think it's just Python, taxi. Try something. Print. Yeah. Killing smalls. Yeah. So we could just do taxi and have it run our little one-liner for us in here. In fact, I think we probably have netcat in here. So what we could do is we could do which in C. And we have user bin in C. So in fact, actually that would be the easiest way, is what we do is we literally have just Python spawn netcat to call back to us, and then we can. So let's do that. So what we'll do is you figure out Python spawn netcat. Spawn netcat one-liner. Yeah, there we go. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Hey, Bobby, what's up, man? How's Skynet coming along? Actually, pretty good. I fixed the issue from last night where it was wiping the host table, and it was some leftover code in the, what was it, in the output validator. So it did fix that. Now what we're doing is we're rerouting the box so I can figure out why Arachne from Mythic is not working on that system. And because that was originally the method I would want to use to get that to get a web shell on the box. Just do bash. I could do bash. However, JW, Python is a SUID binary, so I want to use Python so it can spawn netcat, so it can then connect back to me, and I'll have a root shell on the system. Yeah. Otherwise, yeah, I could totally use the bash method. There's a particular reason why we had to use Python in this one. I do love the dial-up. Mr. Christie's, what's up? Thanks for coming online. One of the things I said that we should do error checking, and you were like, nah, we'll do it later. Yes, there is. I do need to do error checking. And that is mostly the error that we get from this is whenever we're making calls over to Claude 3.7, Anthropic is throwing an API overload error. I will eventually go in and add error checking for that. It just does not happen frequently enough to cause me headaches. So I will eventually go through and run that. And probably what I'm going to have to do is all the LLM calls, I think I'm going to have to wrap them. And so what it'll do is it will wrap the LLM call into like a try-catch, and where it will just basically run it. If it doesn't go through, sleep for like 5 seconds, try it again. If it fails 3 times, 4 times, then it will bail out. There is a way to actually, so the base unit of execution inside of, inside of LangGraph is the runnable, and you can have runnables with fallbacks. Unfortunately, I want to stick to using Claude 3.7 so I can have as consistent results as you could potentially get using a language model, which is a non-deterministic input and output, right? But if you go switching models, like if I had ChatGPT as a fallback, I'm going to get drastically different results than if I do like 3 runs against Claude versus a run against Claude and a run against ChatGPT and a run against like Microsoft's 5.4. I'm going to get pretty drastically different results from that. Actually, you know what? Out of curiosity, let me check something. So for all the testing that I've done so far on Hackbot, it has cost $6.73. So not bad. Especially considering I think I started with this around January. Was it January? It was something like that. So it's been pretty inexpensive. That's like a Happy Meal. That's not even a Happy Meal these days, man. In Texas, we've got this really great, We've got this really great burger. It's actually from Oklahoma, but I claimed it as for Texas. We've got this really awesome, burger chain and grocery store called Brahms. And Brahms is legit. You could get a bag of burgers from there. And so it's 5 of the junior cheeseburgers. And it's like $6. Dang it, I lost the copy. There we go. Here, boop, drop this in. Alright, so what I need to do is we're gonna import PTY, socket OS. Alright, so we're gonna connect to our Cali IP address. So I need to go get that. IP ADDR. For 10.0, this is our IP address, right? Yeah. Drop that in. And we're going to have it call back on 10.4.4. So what we should be able to do is, after we run this, what we're going to do is we're going to do netcat. We're going to have it listen on 10.4.4.3. And we're going to prepare this command. So our command is going to be, was it? It was user bin Python. Double check. Yeah, user bin Python. So let's grab that. And then we'll have it run. This will be a plus. This will be a. We'll see how well this works. I think. Yeah, actually, I think this will work okay. I don't see anything that's going to mess with the URL encoding. We could always just go do a URL encode on this using something like Chef. Be fine. That's like a single slice of pizza. I know, right? We could do 1337. Good. Let's go try this real quick. We'll see what happens with it when it runs. So did like right, that's fine. What we'll do is it Cider Chef? Is that? We'll drop this in here, and then what we'll do is we are URL. There we go. Actually, oh, we fix this up a wee bit. I'm going to change this back to its raw format. Space is there. All right. Let's do this one. I don't think it liked that. I didn't see a connect back on it whenever the I think we actually might be able to get this just over in the web browser. Let's try it there. Oh, there we go. Look at that. For some reason, doing it through the web browser did get it. So now we're... That's weird. For some reason, it's showing that we are... Yeah, I'm in, but I mean, it's TripDub's data. That's the weird part. Yeah, so for some reason we're TripDubs. I mean, so we are in. It's just we should be in as root. That's the bummer part here. Oh, wait. Yeah, I'm a dumbass. It's failing because I didn't restart the netcatless. Yeah, we did go through the web browser, but we actually ran this through Python right here. See that? So that should have gotten us our shell command, but that's all right because we have another way. We go run this again. So we're running as TripDub. That's no problem. What we'll do is we'll do user bin Python. What was that? What was that fun site that it was web. Upgrade netcat shell Python. Yeah, here we go, from good old Rapnop. It's in the Python PTY. Yeah, this is it. That's so weird. Try this real quick. Hello. Oh, if I actually like typed it correctly. Yeah, so it's executing. Yeah, Palmer, I noticed that. I was like, wait, what the hell did happen? Yeah, it should have been USR, not USE. Let me double check something. Import P2I, P2 spawn. Yeah. I forget how we did this last time. I meant to take some notes on it, and I completely whiffed on it. Let's double check that. So let's just do it ls real fast on user Python. Yeah, so it's still a SUID binary right here. It should be running as root whenever we do that. Let's see. Let me check something real quick. You're in. Okay. Well, I managed to bork the session, but that's all right. So we could just reload this. Should get a new one back. I just realized something. Which bash? Bin bash. Oh, I was missing a closing in here. Yeah, see here it shows it running as root. So let me just see if I can run bin bash here. Yeah, so it's running it, but it's dropping us back for some reason. Try with type E. Okay. Oh, I just realized. All right, let me spawn it back up again. Yeah, you're right, because I was in a nested shell when that happened. Maybe the EUID is root? Oh, okay. Deepest modernist Liban. What's up, man? Let's try that real quick. If I exit out of this, yeah, that didn't nest. Okay. I was wondering if it needed to be like that array band, because I could not remember. But to it, let me try what Deepest just recommended. Yeah, so it's still showing up there when we do that, but let's try making that modification here. So what we'll do is we'll put this into an array. We'll do bin bash, and then we'll put in the argument, which would be our tac e. Close the array, close the parentheses, close import here. Let's see, I did that the same way you just did, Bandon. For some reason, it's still dropping it. For some reason. That's it. Try something else. User bin who am. Let me try that real quick. I'm pretty sure I'm going to get the exact same response back because it looks like for some reason it's dropping privs and I don't get why. No, so it is. Okay, so it's running as root, but for some reason when we execute the shell, it's dropping it. Try tac P instead of tac E. All right. Let's see if this will work. Hey, there we go. There it is. All right, so what did bash tac P do? Let's see.
Bullshit, I can't hear you. Sound off like you got a pair.
Preserves privileges. Okay. So many options in bash. Anyway, but now that we've got that, let me let's do something. So list home. We've got root me. We've got test. So cd to home root me. So guys, give me 1 sec. Hopefully the session's not going to die, if so I'll remember what it is. But I need to go run and take care of something, so I'll be right back. All right, I'm back. I realized I completely forgot to turn off the microphone, so I'm glad I didn't say anything stupid. Get my earbuds back in. Alright. By the way, Frozen, good luck on your calculus exam, man. I actually really enjoyed calculus. Cal 2 was a bit of a pain. No, I was not pooping, Oni. There's a counter for that one too. Even though it's completely false. If you heard me pooping from the other room with a directional microphone, I was freaking going Super Saiyan while pooping. Look at something here. So there is no... Let me look at something real quick. Past D. Okay, I was wondering if maybe some of these had like a real simple like username or password in here. Let's see, root me and test do. Root has a password in here. I'm probably not gonna go try and break it though, because it's a oh, what is the $6 password? I gotta remember which one that is. So, by the way, for anybody who's not familiar with like how passwords are stored when they're in their hashed format, typically how they're stored here is $6. So they're dollar delimited. So the $sign is this is what is the field delimiters. So 6 is the password type, and then typically there would be like another one here with a salt. But this looks like it's old enough to be unsalted. Oh, it's just a SHA-512 without a salt. It's like. Six times might be more than might be too many, but I'm not a doctor. We're not talking about poops anymore. We're talking about password hashes. It looks like this is an unsalted SHA-512. What this looks like. But anyway, so we're not cracking that, but that's okay. So the hard thing here is, for this particular sample, just think about how the exploitation agent's going to have to work. It's going to have to develop kind of like a plan of action, right? Because what did we have to do for this? Let me bring this up. So let's make a quick note here on what we had done. So what we had to do was go Buster. That found us the upload panel. Find panel and uploads. We had to upload, let's see. Wanted to upload a test file. Upload test file to, what is it? It's to check before it landed. And then we needed to actually upload a web shell. A web shell. Web shell bypassing restrictions. So we had to upload the web shell bypassing the restrictions, and then we actually had to, which actually this one right here, this is the one that's going to be tricky because the way it does the upload forms is kind of funky. So we're going to have to upload web shell bypassing the restrictions, which the bypass was not hard, right? It was just renaming the extension. Are you root, or is Python just running as root via suid? Python is just running as root via suid. Is a doobski? That's how we're doing it. Let's see. Yeah, well, because what we did is we ran Python, and we had Python spawn us a bash session with basically preserving permissions. The Python binary itself was a suid binary, so it's running as root, it spawns us a bash session running as root, and it's passing it back over to netcat here. Yeah, exactly. Non-root users can act as root through Python. Let's see. And then we had to get repeatable and execution. So for this one, I'm thinking actually this one might be Python script. That might be the best way to do this. And then basically that Python script could be a reproducible execution that we send over to something like RoboPages. Just execute a netcat command through Python to get your full root shell in. That's probably what we could have done in here. There you go, suck on it, Oni. Let's see. Yeah, actually, knowing now what the problem was with, we needed the tac p option in our bash here. Actually, let's take a look at that real quick. I'm going to exit out of this. Oh, let me modify this. I know this is really tiny. Ah, there we go. It actually blows up pretty good. So let me modify this real quick. So we'll wrap this in an array. We'll add a second element with our tac p option here. And now if we run this, it actually should work if we send this to our command option. Take this and send this as our execution command here. That, in theory, would have worked had I restarted the netcat listener and not been do this. This should drop us directly into a root shell. Ah. Yeah, so who am I root? So easy enough to just wrap it. So now what we've got is, we've got a, once we drop the shell on there, we've got a one-liner that immediately drops us into a root shell, so that's no problem. Let's see. Hating on Oni is not allowed. I'm not hating on Oni. I'm just harshing on Oni for making poop command jokes. And I didn't even notice that it deleted the messages. I didn't want it to delete the messages. I just wanted to mess with you. Let me see something. Excellent. Let's see. Might be silly, but this is a. Let me try user mod. I don't know if we even have user mod on here. We do have user mod. Okay. I'm gonna try something real quick. One thing you need to do is, only thing this needs is a pre-encrypted password string, which you'd have to generate first. So in order to generate the encrypted password string, you'd have to use OpenSSL. Oh wait, if I'm in a PTY, I should be able to do that, shouldn't I? It'll work. Current Unix password. No, I don't want to change it for trip dubs. You may not view or modify password information for. Well, you. That's all right. CD2 bar. Let me see here. Do we have Apache 2? We do. So CD2 Apache 2. Tail. It did not like it. That is important. Just SSH in is root. That's what I was hoping to do, but I don't have root's password, so I was going to change root's password. Another option is we could also go over to root and drop an SSH key if we wanted to. Let me see here. I think that's the right. There's SSH key. What is it? Good root so you can edit as Vim. I could do that. 825519. That's it. That's what I had the 2 and the 1 backwards. Let's see. Put this in. In. SSH, and we'll call this. Call this. Root. Empty password list. Okay. Let's see, CD2. CD2. CD2.SSH. Did not like that. Oh God, why you do this to me? I don't need to expand wildcards. All right, so what we'll do then is. We'll just append that in there. There we go. So now let's see if we can just SSH over there. So SSH at and we'll do tech. Alright, so this will be home Debian SSH. Hey, there we go. Cool. So actually, we don't even need You know what's funny is we could actually just run this one command. So if we run this singular command here, our little cyber chef thing, we're gonna be Gucci. Drop this right in here. Let's see. So I'm going to modify this just a wee bit. Save this. I think that would work. Oh, you're right. I do need to give it the full path, don't I? So this would be root .ssh. Thank you. Authorized keys. Otherwise, we're going to drop that into the uploads folder. Hey, Chris, what's up, man? I may have a boot camp in the morning, but the Live Lab reigns supreme for Brave Bits. As does the future merch store. I don't know if or when the merch store is ever going to happen. If it does, it's not going to be for a while, but let me go save this because this should work out pretty well. And in fact, for this, we don't even need a lot of this stuff in here. All we need is the PTY. We don't even need the socket. We literally just need this part right here. Import PTY, PTY spawn, echo, the key, Debian. Boom. Oh, you know what I just realized? We need to do actually a little bit more dress up. This just reminded me. We'll see if this works, actually. Do the Heartbleed slippers. That would be pretty funny. All right, I think that would work. So echo, the keyed material, this, tell it to redirect and append, and redirect it. I think that would work. I think we'll be good with that. I'm going to save that just for now, but the important thing is now we have an SSH session up here, so we can move around a heck of a lot easier. So cd2 var log Apache 2, and we want to tail tacf error.log. Okay, for some reason, that's what we're... Let me look at the head of this real quick. That didn't... Okay, so it is working. It's just, it looked funny because the way we're doing everything through Python here. So now what I want to do is, back over to Mythic. I'm going to tell this to check in. I'm going to see if we get an error. Back over. Yeah. Do this one more time. So that was there. Oh, here it is. Yeah, but actually, we not notice this. It's not triggering new errors. It's just flat out like not working. So as soon as I tell it to check in, I would have thought we would have seen an error. If we go to evil.php5, it loads up right here. Notice that we're not getting any new errors here. So this one's showing it. So tail F access log. Then let's go try telling Mythic to check in. Check in. So weird. Oh, wait, is it coming back as a 404? Uploads evil.php5. But it's coming back as a 404. Why? That's weird because if we go to uploads, it's right here. I mean, Dicecode PHP5 shows up. Okay, so there we got another 404. But if we go to check-in, file permissions. Let's take a look at it. Let's do ls it's our trip devs. I think it's HTML upload. I mean, it shouldn't have any permission errors because of what we got in here. So let's take out. I'm going to take out the nmap data, and I'm going to take out the evil PHP5. Let's try re-uploading it. Maybe I didn't load the new correct one. That to HP5. Maybe that was the problem, is I didn't upload the new one. Let's upload the new evil PHP. And that could be the problem in there. Oh yeah, by the way, Odie, I saw your message. Have a good night, dude. Always appreciate you stopping in, man. I will not be, like I said, I will not be at DHA, but I will try. I'm going to try to make it out to DC214 the week after. It just depends on what's going on. My dad's back in the hospital. Oh, thanks, Chris. Yeah, it's been a rough year, man. That's to say the least. Get the metadata on this. You should be able to go to hack.it, uploads, evil.php file. Alright, just in case I'm losing my mind, let's do something. Let's go... I'm going to make a new profile. So we're going to call this rootme2. I'm going to go to ACT, Hackit, uploads, and this will be evil2.php. That's where it's going to connect to. Create that, and then we'll go create the payload to use that. Generate a new Arachne payload. Alright, so what we want to use is rootme2. Yep, that should be good. Maybe if you can go to the North Texas Cybersecurity Group, that'd be great. I don't even know if I ever make it out to that one, but I'll see about it, man. Alright, so let's call this evil2.php5. This evil2 payload. Great payload. Okay. Then what we'll do is we'll go ahead and download that. Back over to our callbacks. Now we've got callback 5 going. What we need to do is get that up to the server. Wait, I gotta massage that. Evil2.php5. And now we can go file. We go back to uploads. Alright, so now we have evil2.php. Alright, so the last thing we had in here was upload. Let's go see if we can just hit it directly. And look at that. That one's returning a 404. That is so... No, I don't know if it's returning the 404 because of something in the PHP. Has anyone else capitalized on the Star Wars Day promotion on TryHackMe? I actually didn't know they were doing one, but I'll show you something funny. I did for the thumbnail for the stream, which I just edit in Canva because I'm totally scrubbed here. But I did make it a little May the 4th be with you thumbnail for the stream. Oh, that's pretty funny. Let's look at that real quick. Let's look at evil2 PHP5. Okay, so if it aborts, it returns a 404. So, okay, so it looks like I bet because we're not sending anything to it, we're just doing a GET request to it. That's why it's returning the 404. It's instructing the server to do it. So, not necessarily a bad thing, but what we need is... need this Mythic server to actually check in. It's not doing. So we're not getting anything here. And it's not writing anything to the error log either. So I'm not sure exactly what it's doing. Let's go. Motivate. Abundance of hashtags. Get some. I do try to get some occasionally. Giggity.
I might have to hit Cody up to figure out why it's not to figure out how to debug this. We could try changing the instance of 404 to 403 to see if it's the payload executing. Yeah, we could do that. Let's see, do we have any other instances of 404? We don't. And what we can do here is we'll take out the current version of Evil 2, we'll go re-upload it. Upload, and then if we hit this again, what do we get in the yeah, so now it's returning a 403. So it is executing when we do this. My question is it maybe that Mythic is I kind of want to try something. Let me look at something. Where's our metadata here? Dude, no. No. It's trying HTTPS again. All right. Delete. I'm going to leave you for now, but let's go modify this. I think we can just redo it here. For some reason, HTTPS wormed its way back in here. We'll update this. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to delete. Actually, let me do something because I'm going to lose track of what we're doing. I'm going to change this to root me through. And actually, I'm going to go back and I'm going to change root me to back to its HTTPS error so I can just keep track of what's happening with it. We'll come back over here. We'll make a new payload. All right, and we'll do root me 3, which does go to HTTP. That's the problem, is it was trying to hit the HTTPS port. All right, this one will now be PHP5. Actually, I'm just going to leave it as Evil 3. Download it, and then I can just rename it really. I guess it would help if I did move instead of boom. Yeah, eventually we'll hit to like Evil 600 or something ridiculous. Alright, Evil 3 inbound. Upload. Alright, let's go back to our callbacks. We now have a callback 6. And just for sanity's sake, let's go check our metadata. Alright, so now it should be trying to hit it's still pointing to evil2.php. Son of a biscuit. You make a new one. Usually it's not this big of a pain in the ass, like in a real world example. However, when you're doing the troubleshooting and trying to figure out like why agents aren't working, this gets to be a pretty standard iterative process. Evil 3, JP. let's go rename it one more time. There you go. So I'm taking out evil 3 real quick there. We're going to tail the access log. And now we'll upload the new copy of evil. Just edited. So now, hopefully... So now we have callback 7 here. Hide this. Now if we check the metadata one more time. Alright, now it's hitting Hackett uploads evil3.php. Alright, finally. So now you check in. Alright, so at least I know it's hitting the correct spot. But did we get anything in... And see, that's the weird thing here. Like, we're getting nothing in the output. We have our encryption key, session, kill date, check date of... Check in, upload, download, process. So something is going awry here. I could just do an echo check-in here. So I can at least get something back. Okay. Kill that again. For the access. I'm gonna re-upload that again. Now that we've modified it. And we're gonna tell it to try and check in again. So there is one other potential issue I can see real quick here. Let me look at something. Yep, I think I know the issue. Let's pop over here. Let's do Docker PS is... Actually, there might be a better way to do that. Where is our eventing? Jupyter Notebook, PC. Hey Carson, what's up, man? I think I need to go look at this for the ENV file. That was what I... Rep. Well, Jupyter, I don't remember. JUPY opt pick. Let me see here. C2 profiles, process. I'm trying to check something here real quick. What I think is happening. So the problem is we set Hackett in here as a DNS entry, right? But the DNS entry isn't propagating to the Docker containers running with it. That is the issue. I am 99% sure. Actually, no. Basic C2. Yes. How do you explain to someone what Docker is? So Docker is not super complicated. It's just there's a lot of bells and whistles to it. So the basic idea is fairly simple. What happens here is, let's say you've got a Linux kernel, right? So inside that Linux kernel, basically you've got all the stuff that's nested underneath it, all your various processes, right? Those processes talk to various hardware, they talk to various hardware aspects in the kernel, right? Or in the computer. That's what the kernel's job is. So whenever you spin up a Docker container, what you're doing, if you're familiar with chroot, is you're essentially making a very fancy chroot jail. That is what Docker's doing, except it's not quite chroot. What it's doing is it's using something called namespaces, which is a feature of the Linux kernel to restrict access to other portions to it. So you have to explicitly give it access to certain things. So for example, you can give it access to a volume storage so that only this Docker container right here has access over to it. You can also give it specialized network access. So by default, it will have its own network backplane that Docker is using, or you could actually tell it, hey, by the way, I don't want to use this right here. What I want to do is go use the host network. Well, I can't write. We want to use the host networking. And then what will happen is that Docker container then shares the IP address and all the exposed ports over here. If you're using the isolated networking, then it gets its own specialized IP address, and any ports that are exposed to it or that this Docker container is running don't exist out on the host until you expose them. You have to explicitly tell Docker, hey, by the way, expose these ports. So it gives you a lot of control about that. The best thing about these Docker containers, though, is this basically right here is a process that's just running, and it's isolated by using those namespaces to separate it out from the rest of the operating system. Yes, Gumby, we are still connected to the VPN. And also, Palmer, thanks for coming online, man. Appreciate it. So we're still connected. The difference is what's happening here is Docker is using its own DNS resolution. It's not using the host file on the host. I can almost guarantee you that's what's happening. So if we come back through here, machine's expiring soon. So good thing we came back to check it. I'm going to add another hour to it fast here. If we do this slightly different, if I come over here and I'm going to create a new profile, here's what we're going to do. So we're going to use the regular root me one, but instead of Hackett, we're going to give it the IP address here. And we're going to call this root me with this IP address. I didn't want to use the IP address because I wanted it to, this is going to change whenever we reboot the box, right? But let's just say this is what we're going to use. So I'm going to create that. I'm going to make a new payload. And what we're going to do is we're going to use this profile. So it's going to connect via the IP address instead of by the host name. Over here, put in, I'm just going to put that in as the IP address. call this Evil 4, I think is what we're on. I didn't download it? Yeah, Evil 4. So what we'll do is we will go ahead and download that. Now you notice we've got a new callback, which is number 8 here. And if we look at the metadata for this one, now it's going to start going 10.10.99.108 right here. So this is the address where it's expecting to find that. In fact, it actually is expecting to see it as evil.php5. So what we need to do is, let's come up here. Let's run that rm command. So we'll get rid of evil.php5. And now we're going to go upload that. All right, we got to do one other small change here, which is we need to move evil 4. All right, let me just copy it. Copy evil 4 to evil.php. Copy that over. We will upload it. Yep, so this is the one we just modified. We'll upload it, and then now we'll come back over to Mythic and we'll tell it to check in. It is always DNS! It is always DNS.
Fight the planet!
DNS, no! Sorry, force of habit. BGP, no! Oh, freaking DNS. Why do you hate me? So the only other thing we could have done for this is we could have stood up our own DNS server to make that work. I've never seen that meme. Dude, I'm a meme connoisseur. You can ask all my friends. All I do is I spam them with what I call customer appropriate memes, like just throughout the day. I come across a meme, I'm like, you know who would like this? Bam, bam, bam. Ooh, a different one. I got just the folks that would like this. Bam, bam, bam. I'm a meme router. That's what I am. Okay. So now, probably what we'll want to do. Let's look at something real quick. Mythic C2 DNS. Man, let's see if anybody has any ideas of this. I might have to hit up Cody about this one. Because I don't want to do DNS as the C2 profile. What I want is a way to manage DNS in here. And this is actually something that we will probably need as part of the base server management. So I'll tell you what, let's hop back, because we are pretty much out of time for tonight. But let's go make some notes real fast over in Hackbot. Let's go over to the to-do. This is resolved. That's good. Let's see. So in Stinger, this isn't something for Stinger. Let's look at this. What do we want to call this? We want to call this like our server management. So what we want to do here is we want to do robo pages. Let the server handle launching and running. We also want to add some way we want to have a DNS server, something to allow all Docker containers to use for custom DNS entries. We also want to add something in here for maybe for Mythic C2. Managing Mythic C2. Because we are going to want to have some ability to manage and do stuff with it. Your packets, chomp chomp. DNS server, chomp chomp. Yeah, exactly, Bobby. Okay, so these are some things I want to eventually add into this. So robo pages, some DNS server, which this actually might just be another very simple Docker container. Which really, that's what this is over here. Docker container management. So if we had Docker container management inside of our startup script, I think we'd be good on this. Yeah, I think we'd be set. Because if we had Docker container management, we could also spin up the DNS server. You point that to it. Look at something. Let's see. I mean, there's lots of containers for doing it. Let's look at the Docker docs for now. So containers have networking enabled by default. They can have they can make outgoing connections. Containers have no information about what kind of network it's attached to or peers. Container can only see a network interface with an IP address, a gateway, routing table, and DNS service. Okay, container networks. So in addition to user-defined networks, you can attach a container to another container's network stack directly using that. Following flags aren't supported for container networks. All right, so containers use the same DNS servers as the host by default, but you can override this with TAC DNS. Okay, by default, containers inherit DNS settings defined in etcresolve.com, but not etc host, which is where we had set that. Yeah, I know, I'm wrapping up right now. See, look at that. We are 1 minute past 11, and I got wife aggro already.
Hey.
I'm wrapping up right now. Yeah, this is actually, I think, the part that we want right here. So if we could run... I think what we could do is... Yeah, we could run a local DNS server that we could very easily manage and go add new entries to. I think would be good. She did say, watch it, mister. I was surprised you heard that. Let's see here. I think that's it. That is not what I want. Look at the preview. Yeah, there we go. That looks good. Alright, let me save that. I'm gonna push that up. I added exploit web, but I'm not gonna push that real quick. Just updating to do so I don't forget what I was doing. It happens. Wrap it up, you're going to be at the doghouse. I know, I am. Alright, let me go ahead and let's kill this. Go ahead and kill the DNS server, and I'm going to be kind and go ahead and shut down the try-hackery box. At least the doghouse will be peaceful. Does your wife know how many swears you have on stream? No, but I did tell her about the swear jar. She thought it was hilarious.
let's go check something real quick. Let's see. Is anybody on InfoSec stream? Nope. Nobody here but us late night hackers. So if anybody has raid suggestions, shout them out. Otherwise, I'm going to go pick somebody. Let's see. See, who else is over in coding right now? Hypnotic's on. He's well.
Be first to tell you happy 5 de Mayo.
Yes, happy Cinco de Mayo tomorrow, everyone. Make sure and enjoy some tacos. Let's see, Smokey's on doing a leak code grind. I tell you what, let me go check who's over in science and tech, because I do love my science and tech vote. Do anything super fun over there. Randy's on and FizzBuzz is on. Go check FizzBuzz. Actually, yeah, he's working on something neat. Yeah, we'll go give FizzBuzz a raid. All right, guys, that is unfortunately where I've got to end it. I've got a very early morning tomorrow. But thanks for hanging out, guys. No stream this Tuesday. I'm going to be flying out to Chicago Tuesday morning. And then I should be back for Saturday night stream. I think we'll be good there. And then starting week after next, we'll probably start picking up the news again on Tuesday nights. So I'll let you know if I can get my head wrapped around the news. We'll start doing news again. So thanks, everybody, for coming and hanging out. Making some interesting progress on this. So now that we know that Arachne's actually working, we can start working on a little bit of the exploit agent. And that's the path we're going to go down is we're going to actually have to start building in the MCP stuff for Mythic. So we'll have fun with that. But everyone, I want you to remember one thing. The week's coming up. No cases of the Mondays. I want you to kick ass. Go hit it hard. Hit the week early so that you can have a read-only Friday and value your weekend time. Getting family time. That's what we want. Yeah. Rah, Chris. Time to kick ass and chew bubblegum. And I'm all out of ass. I mean, bubblegum. All right, guys. I'm going to head out. I want you to remember one thing, and that is I love you. Peace.